Welcome to the stage of history. I am your illustrious host, Kevin Uncanny Anytime. Welcome y'all to Mindset Matters Monday, and guess what? It is open enrollment for the Institute. The link is in the comments. I'm going to post the link there. Go ahead, jump in. I got a good topic for y'all today, okay? Not going to talk too much about the Institute. I'll do that tomorrow on the live video. The topic today, though, is how to execute. And again, I'm going to try and really hone in and centralize this information so we don't spend too long on the video, right? And so what are we talking about with execution? Well, we're talking about simply just performing an action, right? Performing an action. A lot of times we get stuck in thoughts, in theory, in strategy, in analysis, and there is no execution. This is something that even when I had previous meetings in different companies and stuff like that, it bothered me when I didn't feel like we were executing on anything. We would have a lot of meetings, but there wasn't any actual plans put in place to look forward to for the next meeting. So by the time the next meeting would come, it would be like we would just kind of talk about the same things almost. So what are we talking about here? How do you execute on certain things? Well, in my experience, the best thing to do, let's just take it as far as gathering ideas. How do you execute on getting a bunch of information, gathering ideas? How do you execute on going to a seminar and making sure that you have the plans, right? Well, the very first step is writing it down. And I mean, so this is something that I also wanted to draw attention to for the people that may be going through the Institute, but also people that may be outside of the Institute that have a meditation practice. When you have a meditative idea, it is for you to break that meditation and write it down, because the purpose, y'all, the purpose of the meditation is to get that. That's the reason why you're most likely in the meditation. It's to be available to the quantum field of information so that you get that great thing that you were thinking about. Maybe even last week, maybe you forgot about it, but you're sitting there in that state to gain the wisdom, the knowledge, the thing that you're looking for out of that, right? So don't let it pass by, because it easily can slip right out of your mind after your meditation. And then what happens? Then the meditation is not even beneficial, because now after you jump out of meditation, you're worried about what you couldn't remember. What is that about? Right? Why? Then the meditation pretty much was purposeless. You just sat there and wasted some time. So if you catch an idea, immediately execute upon that. Break the meditation. I get it. You want to sit there, you want to go through the process, but that means if you caught the idea, that means it's working. So don't feel bad for breaking it. Break right out of it, write it down. And if you want to try and get back into it, then try and get back into it. That's a whole nother practice too, because there are going to be times where you're not going to have a lot of time to meditate. You may only have 5 minutes, and you have to build the skill of breaking it and getting back into it. You might be jerked out at one point, and then you got to try and get back into it, right? That also is going to help you with execution when it comes to the chaotic world that we're in, and all of the, hey, here's this, over here, where's that, over there. When you jump out and go into the world, and then you try and calm yourself and go into meditation, then it's like, oh, but then the world jumps at you and snatches you out of that meditation. You have to train yourself to get back into that flow, right? Because that is going to happen. That is something that is very apparent in our lives today. kids, dogs, family, calls, emails, messages, all that stuff can instantly take you out. And so you have to be able to get back to center and be like, okay, now I'm back into my meditation, right? Don't think it's just a one time thing, because if you go into it with that mindset, that's really going to frustrate you. We don't want frustration. So execution. So that's one way of executing. As soon as you get the idea, execute. The same thing goes for if you are at a seminar and you're listening. Hey, take notes, execute, right? Take notes on that information. Don't just sit there and then be like, oh yeah, well, that was great. And then you kind of try and hold it in your memory and be like, yeah, I got it. That was great. You won't be able to really call everything up into memory immediately like you want to. If you have notes, you will be able to. But if you don't have notes, you'll really have to go through your massive mind file system sometimes and try and find it. And that takes time, and which is wasted energy and blah, blah, blah. So execute, take notes when you go into a situation. Even if you go into meetings, take notes. Right? Take notes for the next meeting. I've been doing that. The execution of when we have our Saturday meetings for the Mindset Matters Institute, we have a meeting every Saturday. I write down what people said so I can come to the next meeting and say, hey, this is what we said last time. And if anybody else has anything else to contribute, they can. But it's good to bring it back, call it back to mind as well, so that we can continue to repeat and refine ourselves with this information. Okay, so now I'm going to give you the third part, or the second part to this particular execution of the seminar and taking notes. Then after you take the notes, pick one of those notes to actively practice. Be like, you know what? This one right here, highlight it. I really like this right here. I really like this. I'm going to test this out. I'm going to test this part out and see what happens. And that is going to transcend you into a different level. The more you start to do that, you're going to realize, oh, okay, I'm making large strides towards improvement, not just going places and not really gaining a lot of the traction that you really want. The traction that you want comes from after you've executed on taking the notes, executing on the notes themselves and actually putting the practices into reality. That's what's going to truly help you. That's what's going to move you further beyond the original habit that you've already instituted, which is, okay, I'm taking notes now. That's great. But then you want to move a step further from that and start executing on the notes. That's going to be invaluable to you. So remember, whenever you go to something, even if you're listening to a YouTube video, y'all, I'm telling you, I do this with audiobooks. Whenever I'm listening to an audiobook, now, don't do this. Don't do this. But even when I'm driving, because that's the most of the time when I'm listening to audiobooks, I will jot down a small note from what I've learned. Because I'm like, I can use that. I need to execute on that. I need to capture that information and then in turn apply it to my life. And then once you apply it through practice and practice and practice, you mold it into wisdom. That is how you gain traction, y'all. All right. That is the execution we're looking for. That is the execution you want to have. And that's what's going to make you feel more fulfilled, along with feeling like you're actually growing from all of those different things. Because you could easily get into the idea and be like, oh yeah, no, I mean, self-development is fine, but it's like whatever. That's only because you're not executing on the information. I guarantee it. If you're executing on the information. If one of the seminars says, hey, you should meditate in the morning every day for 5 minutes, and you don't execute on it, you just like, oh yeah, that sounds great, and you don't execute on it, you're gonna continue to go in a loop and be like, oh yeah, it's whatever, like they're cool things to go to, and you meet people and you network, but you're not actually doing the development practices. That is what's going to transform your life. And literally, y'all, that's what the Institute is all about. I'm so serious. Yeah, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but this is literally what the Mindset Matters Institute is about. I put you through the Mr. Miyagi style program. All right. I have you wax on, wax off. And then over time, you start realizing, wait a minute. When I stay consistent at this literally is changing my life for the better. 4 meditation practices. Then you start doing some discipline practices. Then you ask yourself fact-finding questions. Those are the 3 major core pieces to the program, y'all. And that spans over 77 days. And if you can be consistent for 77 days straight, y'all, you please understand. It's easy, but it's hard at the same time. It's easy because you can do that at your job. You can go to work and be like, oh, because I need this paycheck. But then it's difficult when it's your own self saying, hey, I need to do this for self. There's no real monetary gain, but it is enhancing me. I don't see how it's enhancing me. It's just like going to the gym. You don't see the effects right away. You have to consistently go and go and go and go. And I am building your mental muscle. And that is what is going to cause massive change. That's almost greater than just getting, well, it actually is. It's greater than going to the gym, because I'm going to activate your mind to help you to understand why it's important to stay consistent to go to the gym. That's when you're going to be like, what? The light bulb is on. Now I get it. That's why I'm here. I'm here to show you through my practice, through the things that I've gone through. That's what I recognize. All of the self-development works, y'all. But if you don't really know in yourself of who you are and everything, it's not going to be as effective, number 1. And number 2, you're not going to be able to carry it consistently through your life. Now, what I'm having everyone do, going through the elements of life first, is building consistent tuning into oneself. We don't consistently check in and tune into ourselves, y'all. That's the truth. That is the truth. And this is what it will do for you. All right. So didn't want to go too wild on that, but that's how you execute, y'all. That is how you execute. You have to put the practices in place, actually do them, and then actually stick to it for an extended period of time. I say at the minimum 90 days, and I don't even do that long on the first program. I give you 77. And trust me, y'all, it's not easy. People are not consistent. You can't, it's just the way it is. It's not really bad. It's just the way it is, y'all. It's just how we have programmed ourselves. It's just something that we need to identify and work on. So don't beat yourself up. If that's the case, if you fell off and you keep falling off, it's okay. All these things happen. But what I show you is that you gotta push through it. When you come to a point where you're gonna level up, things are gonna happen that's gonna show up, and it's gonna cause you to make a decision. Either I stay on or I fall off. That's it. And I tell you, I teach you to stay on. Stay on. You get me as a coach, y'all. I'm like, stay on, stay on, stay on. Sometimes people fall off, sometimes they don't. It's like, stay on, stay the course. And if you can build that mental muscle within yourself to just stay consistent, stay on, that alone will drastically explode you into great positive change. I guarantee it, y'all. I guarantee it. All right. So yeah, I'll be done with that. Okay. Sign up for the Mindset Matters Institute. I'm so serious. It will benefit you greatly. Okay. It's the stuff that I went through. I was a little shaky at first, to be 100 with y'all. Then I had people go through it. They're like, no, it really does work. And I'm like, right, because it worked with me. And we're all pretty much fundamentally the same. So yeah, it's just going to help you activate the actual powers that you have. You may be Spider-Man. I might be the Hulk. You might be Thor. Somebody else might be Captain America. Another person might be. They all have different powers, y'all. They all have different powers. This is in place on purpose for you to see this. There are heroes here, and I'm looking for them. I'm looking for the legends, y'all. The Mindset Matters Institute is the place for legends to be born, to be created, to be cultivated, right? That's what this is about, y'all. So if you are a legend, I'm telling you, jump in. Do not play games with this, all right? So remember, y'all, above all else, mindset matters more than anything else. All right? Your mindset matters more than anything else. Focus on the good. All right? Stop at the store, mindsetmattersmore.store. Get some gear, rep the crown, show that you care about your mindset. Mindset matters. Put your crown on. Never leave home without your crown on. Let's go, y'all. All right. So yeah, open enrollments through the end of this week, and we closing it up. It don't matter if anybody's no, they say no, or it doesn't matter, y'all. I'm looking for the legends. I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to be patient through the process. I will find the legends. I will find them. All right. Love you guys very, very much. Have a fantastic rest of the week. We'll see you tomorrow. Again, I'm live Tuesday. Got a nice interview coming up tomorrow as well. So I'll post that later in the evening. And then, and then we're back to our regularly scheduled program. And I will give you guys updates throughout the week. So have a fantastic rest of it. Again, anytime.